DreAllDay.com.
I don't know if y'all knew this. I don't know if y'all ever heard this statistic, but the average CEO, Chief Executive Officer in America, average corporation CEO, reads 60 books a year. Yes, 60 books a year. Did you also know that the average person, average human being, when they finish their formal education, meaning when they get out of high school, when they drop out of high school, when they graduate from college, when they get their master's degree, the average person, after their education is done formally, never reads one single book for the rest of their lives? And did you also know that the average CEO makes in salary over 400 times what the average employee makes over the course of a year? Did you know that stuff? Did you know those statistics? If you didn't know that, look it up. I've heard people say it before. I've said it before. That if you didn't know, now you are informed. If you already knew, that doesn't mean that you don't need to hear what I'm about to tell you right now. What you need to know is this. If you're not educating yourself outside of school, you're losing. If you're not giving yourself an education when school is over, if you get out of school, whether that's high school, college, whatever school you get done with, when you get done school, if you're not giving yourself continuing education, and a lot of companies, that's what they call it. I'm going to get to that in a second. If you're not giving yourself that continuing education, you are losing. How are you losing, Dre? What does that mean, Dre? You're losing. Does that mean just because everybody else is reading, I'm supposed to be reading? No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's like this. See, in life, time moves forward, right? We know time is the only constant. Time will move forward whether you do something or you do nothing. Time is going to go by. Everybody agrees with that, right? So check this out. If a year goes by, and you don't get smarter, is that neutral? Is that losing? Is that winning? What is that? That's losing. Why? Because you got a year older. The world moved a year ahead. The world moved ahead by a year. Think of all the things that changed from this date now and this date last year. This date last year to this date this year. Did things change? Did the world change? Did things get better? Are there new things that people could be doing that they couldn't do at this time last year? Of course. So if a year goes by and you didn't get smarter over the course of a year, you lost. This just makes sense, right? If you didn't get smarter over the course of a year, you lost in the year. So understand, if it's been 5 years since you got out of school and you ain't read nothing, you've been losing for 5 years straight. And somebody else who's been winning, somebody else who's been reading, educating themselves, listening to the Work on Your Game podcast, doing things to make themselves smarter, listen, they winning. They're beating you. And there's going to come a point where that person and you are going to be going up against each other. Maybe it's for a job. Maybe it's to design a certain type of technology. Maybe it's to code some software. Maybe it's just to say what you got to say in front of an audience, and whoever says the best thing, whoever got the most to say, the most valuable thing to say is going to win the money or get the prize or get the job or get the audience or get the fans or get the sale. You ain't going to win. Why? Because you ain't got nothing to say. You ain't learned nothing in 5 years. How you going to go 5 years and learn nothing? How you going to go 1 year and learn nothing? How you going to go 1 day and learn nothing? How are you going to wake up today and at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you're not a more valuable person at the end of the day than you were at the beginning of the day? Do you understand that that's losing, right? And it's not metaphorical. You're losing, literally you're losing, because time moved forward. You got older, but you didn't get smarter. Do you want to become old in the same level of intelligence? You shouldn't have the same level of intelligence when you're 50 that you had when you was 25. That don't make no sense. You've been alive 25 years and didn't learn nothing. Understand, school is not responsible for educating you people. If nobody ever told you, I'm telling you now. School is not responsible for educating you. I'm going to say that one more time. School, teachers, professors, textbooks, none of that is responsible for educating you. You are responsible for educating yourself. So if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the information, you don't have the know-how to apply things, listen, that's not school's fault. There's no blame the teacher. When I was in school, people would be like, well, the teacher don't know how to teach. I'm not learning because the teacher don't know how to teach. The teacher don't have to know how to teach. You know how to read, don't you? Or you know how to look up YouTube videos, don't you? Or you know how to use the internet, don't you? Okay, you ain't got no excuse. You got to educate yourself at all times. And corporations, I do speaking engagements at companies. They're not always corporations, but at companies, organizations, associations. They have these things called continuing education credits. Continuing education credits. That is, when you work at a company, or you're part of some association or organization, you get credit. The company credits you every year for doing things to make yourself more valuable, for doing things, professional development, personal development, going to events. You get a certain number of credits for just going to the event. Or somebody speaking and you go to hear them speak, you get credits for that. So they basically are counting, in companies where people work, they count how much time you're putting into educating yourself. And those continuing education credits in some companies, you have to do it. In some companies, it's a requirement. Like, you got to take X number of continuing education credits every single year. And they'll say to me, Dre, all right, you know what? You'll speak about this, and it'll be part of our continuing education agenda. All right, anybody who wants to get continuing education credits can go to yours, or go to this person's, or go to that person. That's part of the business. So understand, this ain't just a school thing, people. This is something that you may need to do when you get into a company. It's something that you may, if you want to start your own company, you want to be a CEO, you might force your employees to do this. Trust me, some of the biggest CEOs out there, some of the ones you've heard of, they make their staff go to classes. They make their staff go to events and things like that so they can learn more on top of what they already know. All those places that y'all know about, the NFL, the NBA, the NCAA. Listen, I've spoken at events where people who work at those companies have come up to me, and I'm thinking to myself, why are they here? Oh yeah, because the company that they work for, the NBA, the NFL, the NCAA, forces them to go. They say, yo, you need to go to this so you can learn more. Why? Because those organizations are always growing. They always getting bigger. They always getting better. Y'all ever wondered? Have you ever thought about why the value of NBA franchises keeps going up? Every year, every time a franchise gets sold, every time a new franchise gets sold, the number gets bigger. It used to be $100 million you could buy a franchise. What did they say Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for? $75 million or something like that? How much they worth now? Over $1 billion. They're worth billions of dollars. Billions would it be? How is that? Is it just because of TV? Is it just because of the internet? Is it just because people just got more money? Is it because of inflation, the government? All of those things factored in. Number one reason, the people who work in that organization are always getting smarter. People in that organization now are smarter than they were when he first bought it. Can we agree to that? Yes or no? Of course we can. Any organization whose value goes up is because they got smarter, and then not only did they know more, but they also apply what they know more often. And you as a human being, you got to do that. This ain't a school thing, people. This ain't about school. This ain't even about working for a company or having a boss. It's about you making sure you educate yourself. Every single day, you got to be learning something new. Every single day, you need to be doing something new. Every time you wake up, every time you go to bed, rather, you should know more than you did when you woke up. If you don't, you're losing. And if you keep losing, listen, if you keep losing, you're a loser. Because that's what losers do. They lose, right? They lose over and over and over again because they're not making good decisions with their time, not making good decisions with their money, with their energy, with their focus, with their attention. You watching this video right now is a very good decision. You're educating yourself. Now what you need to do, go to dreallday.com/read, R-E-A-D, and get some of the books on that list. Of course, my books are on that list, but I got 100 plus, might be 200 books on that list that ain't mine. Books that I read myself. Educate. You gotta educate yourself. If you don't elevate your own mindset, you don't elevate your own mind state, listen, time will pass you by. And somebody who you don't know is gonna pass you up for a position that you want, for a customer you want, for a job you want, for some attention you want, for some fans that you want. Whatever it is you want, somebody's gonna pass you up because you ain't educating yourself. And trust me, it's a long game, people. I know school was 12 years or college was 4 years or master's program was 2 years. I don't even know how long a master's program is because I ain't got one. But I got a PhD in self-education. If you ain't got one, you better go get yourself one. Because if you don't, listen, somebody who has one, they're gonna take all the money off the table and leave you wondering what the hell happened. Work on your game.